Good morning everyone, Lucio here. In this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to clean up marker swaps for rigid bodies in Motive. So you're going to have some marker swaps from time to time, and for this example I have destroyed some data in the spaceship asteroid project from the previous videos. So as we can see here, we have spaceship flying around and one asteroid remaining. Everything's looking all fine and dandy, but we do have a little bit of cleaning up to do. So as you can see here, we do have ourselves like a marker remaining. This marker does nothing. So after cleaning up and getting everything ready for exporting, you can delete unlabeled markers because they serve no purpose. If you just export them out to OptiTrack from object motive to motion builder, they will serve no purpose and just going to be useless data. So it's best to delete any unlabeled markers you have uh, when you're just about done in motive. So we're just going to select that and give this a delete. Now we have no marker. So from this we can see in the labels we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 markers and 2 rigid bodies, not 7 because we got rid of that 7th one. So going through the timeline, we can see that it looks like there's some issues with our spaceship. You can see that it's going really smooth, and then it just destroys itself. So it looks like that there's a marker swap going on that we can fix. So we'll just focus on the spaceship for now. Turn off the rigid bodies, just so that it'll be a lot easier to see without that label in the way. So, alright. Well, we can see some issues here. Alright, so we'll say that there's no issues with marker 2, but it looks like there's an issue with marker 1 and marker 3. So, using the graph, we can track marker 3 and see that marker 3 is swapping to where marker 1 is, and then swapping back. Alright, so this is just a simple fix. What we can do is just focus on zooming in really quickly to see where we can do that swap. So we're going to do a marquee select on the area on the frame range to do that swap. So here's the major dip. So this is applicable to all 3 ranges on the X, Y, and Z frames. So we have that selected, and we're going to select frame 1, marker 1. So in the edit tools, we are going to go to swaps. Now for swaps, there's two other parameters that we are not going to be using. This is previous and this is next. But what we are going to want to do is swap range. Swap range works pretty good if you have 2 markers selected. So we're going to perform a swap range, and that is a quick fix. So going back to the timeline, scrubbing, and we can see we don't have that issue of the marker swap. So timelines are pretty smooth. I can even zoom out. Yeah, timelines are pretty smooth. There was no issue with marker 2, but marker 1 and marker 3 look perfect. We can turn on the rigid body so that we can track, and you'll see there's no more flipping. So that is a quick fix for a marker swap within its own rigid body. Now let's see what else we have here. So scrubbing through this timeline, we can see nothing so far. Oh, it looks like that the spaceship is swapping positions with our asteroid. That's not good. So for this, we're going to have to do a little bit more cleanup on the swapping markers. It's just the same way on how we were swapping beforehand. So we have, oh yeah, here we have the issue. And if I select the 3 other markers on spaceship, same issue. So what I'm going to do is just zoom in over here with a Alt right click drag to zoom in this affected area. And I'm going to put on a frame from frame 730 to 815. That is the affected area where that swap is occurring. So I'm going to click on the grid and I'm going to swap each marker by themselves until I can get the right combination. So I'm going to select this one on the viewport. I'm going to track it. So it looks like it doesn't swap anymore and it resets back to its previous position. Alright, so I know which one to swap it at because we can see a line is drawn to where it snaps. So swap. That's a fix. Now we're going to follow marker 3. Marker 3 looks like from the ship's front to the top part of the asteroid and back to its prior position. So line is pointing towards here. Swap. There we go. That's a fix. Yep. Now we have one more left. The top. Yeah, the top is the one that we have not fixed yet. We're going to zoom in and select that frame range once more. And we are going to track where it goes from the top of that spaceship to the front of the asteroid back to the top. So arrow is pointing over here. It's a good thing to have tracer lines enabled so that this can be an easier process. It's also not hard to track because the dots turn yellow when you have them selected. So as you can see here, we have the marker selected and it is yellow. And we go over to where it is in the asteroid. It is yellow. So we know where it is swapping and where it's swapping with. So you can still select where the swap is still occurring, just like that, and swap range. There you go. Now, we'll just enable the markers, the rigid body for the spaceship. And we'll see if that issue still occurs. Tracing. And no more further issues. Spaceship has left the asteroid field. So that right there is a quick fix for deleting spare markers that have nothing to do with your scene, as well as swapping markers within their own rigid body and swapping markers between 2 rigid bodies. And thank you so much for watching the video. Bye.